All right, my friends, the time has come. We're gonna paint a self-tape wall.
From the bottom, rising up, the elevation, I feel the rush.
After much hemming and hawing and deciding back and forth about what I'm actually gonna do and moving my self-tape setup from here to here and having a curtain and having a backdrop and all of these things, I finally realized that I actually now have the space to appropriately self-tape in the room that I also have an office and a gym. So I went to the paint store. I picked up some samples. These are the 4 top contenders. And we're gonna let them dry a little bit longer and we're gonna make some final decisions. I'm gonna tag in LaMadrid from Put Me On Self Tape, and she is going to help me evaluate how these work with my skin tone a little bit. She's so good. Put Me On Self Tape is incredible. They've changed my whole self tape setup. And yeah, we're gonna make some choices. We're gonna paint a goddamn wall. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Miss Sam. How are you?
So good. I'm very overdue on this project.
I love that you're doing this because to me, one of my biggest missions, in being a tech mama for actors is to just really break down the tech anxiety. And I feel like the mental state that you go into your self-tape is influenced if you're stressed out by having to reinvent the wheel each time, right? So once you set up your system, it takes me 3 minutes. Everything's set, like if you're ready, you're gonna stay ready, you're gonna be ready, So it's gonna make it so much better.
So now I just need to figure out what I do next. Let's take it.
So walk me through your choices of the different grays.
I'm gonna turn on my ring light because that is gonna give us the most true. So ring light, we're gonna put a little off kilter here. We can see here. So this one has a lot of silver to it. I think it's too silver. They're all flat, which as instructed.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really important that when you're thinking about painting your wall, not to pick a glossy paint, because when you hit it with light, you'll get a reflection. So right now, this is a matte gray.
Great. It's funny because it doesn't look like that matte, but since you have the light on it, it really gives it a pop. I guess that's why we powder our faces in auditions. This one is called Silver Spoon. I think that this is a no, but nice color. Maybe I'll use it to paint the back of a door. This one is like a step above a Silver Spoon, but I don't know. I feel like it might be too light. It's funny. It's
light.
Like skin tone and like face.
Yeah. I mean, I think it might be a good idea for you to take a photo and see if you can just get no white, but like a close up and see how it's reacting to your skin. When I first started my journey on painting my wall, I had always dreamt of like having like a really dark kind of like sexy, like, almost charcoal kind of thing. So I was like, oh, what a statement. And it'll double as a self-tape background. And like, I'll get the cool room of my dreams. So I think that might be just a little bit too dark for you. Yeah, because I had to go up lighter. It'll eat. So, a light background will reflect light, a dark background will eat it. Right. So it's getting to a point where it might not really be helping you and it'll be too dark. So again, it's about finding the right gray for you. I'm feeling like it's between those 2 middle ones, that one and the one right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the one that so you can see like space and color wise. I kind of think that this is called Industrial Age.
Okay.
I kind of think it's this one.
Okay.
Feels like there's like a lightness to it. And it is like a kind of it's not as blue as perhaps this one is. So it kind of hits this middle ground between these two. And this is one coat and it's pretty thin, but I feel like it covers pretty well too.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I kind of think
it feels a little bit more neutral. It definitely is going to make you pop out a little bit more than the other one is too close to a white. white will reflect light, but then somehow take it away from you.
Yes. Okay. So I used to tape here on this wall, and looking at those old tapes, I look flat.
Yeah.
Like super boring, which is really funny to think about.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, again, depending on what you're wearing, depending on the color, it'll start to accentuate dark circles.
I kind of think this is our baby.
I agree.
Cool. How much paint do you think I need?
I bought like half a gallon and I still have some left over.
Okay.
And I feel like your wall is probably about the size of mine. And we did like, I believe it was 2 coats.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to need 2 as well. It's funny, you know, when I decided to do this, I went through some of the self-tape accounts that I follow, and I screenshotted some of their pictures I liked. And in my head, it was a much darker gray. And then when I really took the picture and like analyzed it, I was like, oh, this is really light, actually. Not as complicated.
It's a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's why I messed up the first time, because I was like, it should be, you know, sexy and deep and it'll be dramatic, but then it's not as flexible.
If anybody is watching this and they were like, oh, I think I want to paint a wall, do you have like any tips you would give them in terms of this process?
I think that if you know your colors, sometimes it can be really fun. Like there's this one girl who uses a really nice mauve that I've seen, and it works for her. So I say, if you want to experiment, but this is why I recommend the gray. Like, you don't want any color to outshine you, right? Because I spent the first 10 or 15 seconds being like, that's a really pretty wall color, and like not thinking about her acting at all. So sometimes tech is really tricky, right? Because on the one hand, you want casting to be able to see you, but tech is really meant to manipulate so that you become the focus, not so that it takes. So sometimes if you're super producing it and you're doing way too much, that can also distract, you know, so finding the right balance. But again, go with a gray, go with a neutral gray, because there's a family of grays. You know, when you went, you showed the palette that they had. So they have cool tones, they have neutrals, and they have warm. Again, some people really like the little sepia tone that happens when I do this. Some people like the warmness. I like my tapes to be a little bit cooler, you know, so sometimes I'll play with that. So if you know, in our phones, when we take pictures, you know how they have the little presets of like cool, vivid, blah, blah, blah. I always make my pictures cool because I like the little blue undertone. It brings it up. It just feels more dramatic to me, but it depends, right? Then I'm thinking genre. When it's a commercial or a comedy, I won't go as blue, but I have that flexibility with the gray background to give me that. Our lives are cyclical, and sometimes we're really, really busy. And I feel like that's when having an easy setup that takes you less than 5 minutes to set up is really helpful, right? Because you're not expending any mental energy on, oh no, where do I do this? And the lighting is going down and now it's nighttime. And because if you don't have enough light, it also makes your tapes look bad. The phone is overworking to try to put in artificial light, and it becomes grainy and all that stuff. That's why, for the love of God, please invest in at least 2 lights, period. Stop trying to just use one ring light. It's not going to work out for you. But when you have the time, when you get, many people out there might audition once or twice a month or 3 times a week, right? So if you're in a lull, you can really take this time with your self-tape to explore being creative with your tech. And it's like, have fun with that one audition, right? That you might get in that month, because it should feel like, I don't know, I love it when it feels meditative, but you can take the time to play with tech when you've been practicing with it. Does that make sense? You can't try to get creative and you've only put out your setup 3 times and never took an afternoon when you have nothing on the books to be like, how would I light it for like a thriller?
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Because you're not going to roll the dice for something you have skin in the game for. Yeah.
So it's that low threshold that really helps to kind of free yourself from the attachment of like, oh, I got to book it. So stakes are high. So like, I can't, and then you freak. And the more it's this, the more you'll start making mistakes, right? That's when the light falls and it's like something weird will happen or it won't upload right. It's like
always
Murphy's Law.
Do you want to tell people what you do and your specialties?
Yeah. So my name is Anna LaMadrid. I'm a working actor, but I also founded Put Me on Self Tape in 2016. It was a self tape studio that included coaching with every session. That was really important to me. And then once the pandemic hit, I felt like I had a lot of technical experience in my head that I wanted to get out to actors. I've booked the most I've ever had in my entire career doing self-tapes only. I do not want to go back to it. So I'm very grateful for this new turn of events. And I just want to empower and encourage actors to feel that kind of empowerment and creativity when it comes to their work and really detach from the old way of doing it, because that's just, we need to keep up with the times. I started a membership program called The New Triple Thread. It's a community of actors led by me and Alicia Oxy, who host that one audition. We have tech courses, we have craft courses, and then we have community that meets monthly. We do self-tape workouts. We really try to help you figure out like where you are on the staircase of your career, and then give you the tools to kind of grow in it. You know, as a person of color, I wanted to make the entry point low for that reason, because I want to make sure that there's equity and that everybody has access to the information.
I think I credit the pandemic for me being able to find you, but your What's My Frame class, and then Find Your Light, like those core, I feel like couple classes that I took with you guys to like discover my stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is not awful.
Yeah. Success.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm gonna send you pictures shortly and update you.
I can't wait to see them. Yeah. And send me before and after too. Cause you know, the curtain's great on a pinch, and sometimes I use it when I travel for self-tape, but there's nothing like a wall.
Yeah.
That smooth, crisp, you know, you never have to worry about the little wrinkle or, you know, having to iron it out, adding yet another 20 minutes to your prep, you know. No.
I assure you, I never ironed a fucking
I know, but then people will be like, oh no, I can see this thing, you know, then you don't give your actor brain anything else to stress out about, you know.
Accurate as fuck. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mama.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay, so I feel like let's just get into it because like.
Oh, absolutely gonna need a second coat.
Okay.
An hour and 40 minutes. We have 2 coats of paint on, and I think we're done. Here's the thing: there's striped curtains over here. Can you guys see that? So therefore, the light is coming a little funny. That's why it might look extra blotchy. Either that or I did a terrible job. We won't know until tomorrow. But it is now 7 o'clock at night, and I am sweaty and disgusting, and this was quite a job. So I look forward to being able to use it, and I will come back with you in a second. And by a second, I mean 24 hours. When this motherfucker is done. Okay. This is it. I think it's really good, actually. I kind of think this looks fucking rad. Hey guys, Editor Sam here. I wanted to share with you something that Anna gave me after we wrapped, which is a pretty sick deal, and it's a bundle just for you guys. Typically, we only give this out to my working actor workshop people, but she was like, give it to YouTube. And I said, all right. First of all, the link to their membership is in the bio, and you guys definitely want to check that out because it's such a low cost but high yield membership, and they do such an amazing job. In fact, they're doing a pop-up with our Patreon right now, which is pretty sick. So the bundle she is offering is the Find My Light course plus the What's Your Frame course. Buy one, get one half off, and they are very very chock full of information. They changed the game in terms of my self-tapes. They look so much cleaner. It is so much easier to put them together. One less obstacle, and so I literally don't even think about getting a self-tape done anymore in terms of tech. I just put my lights up and start filming, which is a game changer. So that is linked in the bio as well. You have to use that link if you want to get the bundle. And if you guys have any questions, please drop them below for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am loving having a self-tape wall. It is awesome. And any questions you have, drop them below.